Hey guys, welcome to our Beachbody Fit family. My name is Becky Schrader and I am your Beachbody coach. This video is just a quick talk through of why I love and use Teamzy. I've gotten questions from quite a few folks on should they check it out, should they spend the time to do the 30-day trial, should they invest the $30 per month to pay for this tool. My answer to all of those, based on my personal experience, is yes. Okay, so I just wanted to walk you through real quick why I think it's awesome and why it works for me so far better than any tool I have used to date to keep me on track with my goals in my Beachbody coaching business. Okay, just a complete side note. The cool thing about this is that it would work excellent for any business, not just coaching, although this tool was created by a coach for coaches. So it's very targeted to our business and our nomenclature, and they basically make it very easy for you to ramp up and get started. So there is, first off, an entire playlist of videos by the creator of Teamzy on YouTube, which is linked below. If you're really curious and one of those folks that likes to investigate before you invest, I recommend that you watch them all. They're very short, but it'll walk you through exactly how to get started and what the benefit of using Teamzy is. Okay, but this is just my personal take. All right, number one, this is what I look at all day, every day. I leave this tab open on my laptop as I am in my, fitness arena over here in Facebook, responding to messages and chats, etc. Okay. I leave this tab open all the time. So when I log in, right, Teamzy puts everything that's important to you as a successful coach right in your face. Number one, and most important, is your why. So when you forget why you want to spend the next 20 minutes sending messages to people, 80% of whom will probably say no, or start getting discouraged, you glance over here and reread why you're even doing this in the first place. Why you believe that these small daily actions compounded over time are going to get you to your why. Okay? So that's number one. Very key. Very cool of them to put this right on the front page. Second thing is your dailies, right? One of the first tenets you learn as a coach is be a product of the product. Show that you are living the lifestyle that you're asking others to adopt. Be proof before you ask somebody to, go first, be the leader, and then ask others to follow you. So, are you doing your workout every day? Are you doing your shake every day? Are you doing your personal development every day? And are you posting on social media? Are you showing what you're doing to people, right? If you are a stay-at-home parent or you're a work-from-home employee, if you never see other humans, social media is your outlet to show the world what you are doing and how you're making this lifestyle work for you and how it could work for them, okay? So check those off. You can track yourself. This dashboard is awesome. I am a very visual person, and I am also a very recognition driven person. I love to check stuff off my list. It gives me a little high every time I feel like I have accomplished a task, right? Or I've gotten something done. That's great as long as you're focused on the most important tasks. One bad habit I have always had and still struggle with sometimes is craving that desire to check something off the list. So I go and I do a whole bunch of lesser value tasks like organizing my desk or, rewriting my prospect list or something that makes me feel like I've accomplished something, but in the long run, it's not the most important thing. If you've gone through the new coach training, you know this. If you're a seasoned coach, you know this. If you're a brand new coach, listen up, right? The most important things you can do every single day are these things right here. Connect with new people. Begin friendly conversations with new people, okay? Whoever that is. If it's my friend Bob, I'm going to connect with Bob. I'm going to say, man, I have not seen you since the end of February. How are you doing? How are you getting ready for your anniversary party that's coming up? Hope to hear from you soon. Bye. Those are just like friendly Facebook messages, emails, or text messages that you would pop off to people in a minute that So 15 minutes and you can be done connecting with new people, planting seeds in their mind that, hey, Becky is really friendly and she's taking an interest in me, and that feels good to me that somebody cares enough to check in with me. I'm going to reply to her and say, hey, man, thanks, right? So it builds your credibility with people because you're taking an interest in them proactively. Exact same thing with your customers. I heard this today on a podcast, a personal development podcast, that when you enroll a new prospect, whether they're a customer or a coach, they're not the final destination. That's not it, right? You're not checking them off the list. You got to think of them as a doorway. When you enroll a new customer or a coach for that matter, they are taking their first step with you, and there's so much more potential that they have to deliver not only to themselves but to you and your business over time, as long as you continue to cultivate that relationship and you don't just rubber stamp them as a sale or a client or a success club point and move on to the next guy. So you want to constantly be cultivating your relationship with your customers, right? So I haven't talked to Jen in a long time, even though I occasionally see her in person. I might message her and just be like, hey, we haven't talked about your fitness goals in a while. How is it going? That kind of thing. Same thing with your coaches, right? The last thing you want to do is go through the entire process of explaining to someone and working with someone to get them to come on board as a coach and then just plop them down in the new coach training and say, hope you figure it out, right? You want to, and I'll elaborate on that in a second. So the reason you don't want to do that, right, is because there's going to come a time in their business and in your business where you may have to go back to that person and help them resolve a challenge or motivate them out of a funk. You may have to give them tough love. And if you haven't built a solid friendship and relationship with them and you fire over tough love, like, come on, get it together. You said you wanted this. I mean, if it were me, I'd be like, screw off, girl. I don't know you. You know what I mean? You just signed me up and then left me alone. You do not want that to happen. It's not valuable for you, your business, or these relationships that you are trying to foster. Okay? So, long story short, before this video gets forever long, these are the most important tasks that you do every day. So as you're doing these activities, these little dashboards are updating, going, you're almost there, way to go, woohoo, right? So you get that feeling of accomplishment, and it's tied to the most important things that you can do for your business every day. Brilliant, okay? So I wanted to give you guys an example. I'm gonna go to a customer that I am working with today of other reasons why I love Teamzy. Okay, so in addition to this being wired to help you get your most important stuff done, it allows you to track your progress over time, right? That's great. But when it comes to what you do with each individual person on a daily basis, like how do you use this to help you keep track of your people? Let's use Matt as an example. Matt's a client of mine. He's doing the 21-day fix with his wife right now. They're rocking it out. All right. Teamzy helps you keep track of what you need to do next with your people so that you're continuing to further that relationship and stay in contact with them so that, as many of you know, right, if you're using a system that doesn't quite fit your needs, there often happens people slip through the cracks. And it's not, any horrible thing that you've done or anything like that. It just happens. But what it can do is it can create that damage in your relationship, like, oh, I guess she didn't really care about me because she forgot to follow up with me, right? So this gives you a way to track people, okay? So you have your client or your prospect or coach, you have all this great information about them personally, how to connect with them, all this jazz, okay? You can put more permanent notes in here like, has a peanut allergy or whatever. And then you can see from your interactions with them all the stuff that you've done over time, right? What has your activity with them been like? We've been messaging a lot, right? Which is good. You can set follow-up dates so that you don't forget to follow up with them. I'll go back and show you that on the dashboard real quick. But this is by far my favorite part of Teamzy and what I was lacking in some of my other tracking tools. Streak was good with this, but just the format of it didn't work for me. It was just so complicated looking that visually I couldn't handle it. Like I said, I'm a visual person. So tags. Tags are basically ways that you can filter people in Teamzy based on a topic. So for me, they're over here, I use tons of tags. right? Because I want to be able to slice and dice my 3,000 people quickly. So whenever I set up a new person or I'm interacting with them, I always, sorry about that. I always purposefully tag them with things like, when do we become friends, right? This is really more relevant if it's somebody that's new. As an example, Desiree Hall did a call on this, which is great, about how when you connect with new people on Facebook, you want to, put them into a list that says, hey, these were all the people that I became friends with last month, so that over the next 30 days, you can make an intentional effort to go start establishing that relationship with them by interacting on their page and getting to know them. Okay. I tag them with things like what they're interested in. We talked about 22-minute hardcore. We talked about Masters Hammer and Chisel. So he was interested in those. I tag them with programs that they've actually bought. So they bought 21 Day Fix. They bought Chocolate Shakeology. I show what I've invited them to and what I haven't, right? So I've invited him to my challenge group. I've invited him to be a coach. So I know when I see that tag, that we're somewhere in the process of already having had a conversation about coaching. I don't want to send him a message out of the blue and be like, hey, I know we've never talked about this, but would you want to become a coach? It just helps me get quick context of where we are in our discussions and our relationship. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Whenever I add a brand new person, I can't think of one off the top of my head right now, I always tag them with my first step, which is to invite to my Shakeology 3-day sample group. A lot of you guys do free groups, like a free clean eating group or a free squat group or whatever. I like to do what I call a 3-day Shakeology sample group for anybody that's new, right? Because I know that the sooner I get them aware of Shakeology and introduced to it, the sooner that they may open their minds to becoming a client, right, that uses it regularly. So for all these people that I've connected with over the last month, right, I'm going back to them and I'm interacting with their page and I'm talking to them, etc. But when it comes down time for me to sit down and invite to my free group each month, I click on that tag at the bottom of this list. Boom. This list of however many people it is, I don't even know, pops up. And I know that I can just plow right through this list, send a message that I have in my scripts file to everybody on this list and say, hey, it's been great getting to know you. Every month I run this short 3-day challenge to get feedback from people on a product that I use every day called Shakeology. It's 3 days, it's $15 to join in, and what I'm really looking for is your feedback on the product, the flavor, the taste, the experience, everything. Would you be open to participating? It's a simple way for me to invite them to something without being like, I don't know, weird about it. So anyway, that's one thing that I use. So that's just one of the ways that I use tags. Another way is like with these auto ship dates. Let me see if I can pick one that has a lot of people on it. That's a bad example. That's a horrible example. Let's see here. Well, let's use the 31st so I don't make this video any longer. So whenever I enroll a new client, sorry for all the scrolling, y'all. Whenever I enroll a new client, I tag them with whatever date they enrolled, which is their auto ship date. So on whatever date of the month it is, today's the 17th, I would go to that list, right? Let's say there was somebody in here, and I would know that all those people are supposed to have their auto ship that day. Or what I might do is go to, a couple days prior to that, let's say a week before, a week before the 17th, I would go to this list and go, okay, who's coming up for auto ship? I probably need to remind them, hey, this is coming up. Did you want to change your flavor? Okay. So without just hopping all over the place and making you guys dizzy with the scrolling or rambling on forever, this is how I use Teamzy, right? I focus in on the dashboard and getting this 100% done every day. Whenever I am working with a particular client, I come into their record, I add any tags that are relevant, I delete any tags that are irrelevant anymore. If I have a specific date to follow up with them, I put that in here, and I might even put myself a note here at the top that says, so that I know my next interaction with them what to do, send them the Shakeology change of flavor form or whatever. And as I get to know them, I just continue to fill in their profile so that I know more and more and more about them as our relationship develops. Okay? That is the gist of why I love Teamzy. It has helped me stay consistent with connecting with people on the regular, which is the cornerstone to building the relationships that you need to get people to trust you and join you in your business as a client or a coach. Okay? And to nurture the relationships that you already have, right? So that you don't become a one-hit wonder with everybody and just constantly have to dig yourself out of finding new people, right? If you can find new people and develop the relationships you already have, you will be on your road to a very successful business. All right, y'all, that's it. We'll talk to you later. Let me know if you have any questions.